Okay, we're on the south side of the house. This is the electric meter. These are the condensing unit electric disconnects. And I got a condensing unit video coming up. And I did not make note of these. They should be sealed. Where they attach to the brickwork. This is the way they look. Alright. So that goes to the next video. Next couple videos. So but we're talking about the meter right now. And like these disconnects, this meter should be sealed on three sides to keep water from coming into the brickwork. We have one ground. When this home was built, that was acceptable. Today we'd had two grounds within 6 feet. This grounding rod is 8 feet long. It's supposed to be buried 8 feet. It's only buried 7 foot 6 inches. If that's the entire grounding rod. We don't know that either. You know, but you know, trusting that it is. And an electrician can come and he can measure the resistance and explain to the code guy how that's acceptable. And it might be, but all I know is that it's supposed to be buried. We're coming along to the front of the home here. Inside the south wall here is your electric service panel. The load center, when it's all together, it's a load center. Now, 1 second. Okay, this panel, see that? That's handwriting. It's supposed to be printed. See how it says danger? See how it says Siemens? Those kinds of things. That's printing. It's supposed to be printed. It's not supposed to be handwritten. Okay. Then, these are your HVAC circuit breakers. And 25, 60, they're the right size. That's good to know. Good to know. That's one of the reasons why we're here. Find out if things are done right. That is done right. Single ground, like I said. Now, there's supposed to be protective covers over L1 and L2. If you don't know that's hot, you don't belong in this cabinet. I get that. You don't belong in this cabinet. I get that. But you're supposed to have little rubber covers over these. And then this is your main neutral coming in. It should be wrapped 4 times. Not 4 times on top of each other, but 4 times. So you should wrap with white tape. There's not enough white tape. But if you don't know that's the main neutral, again, you don't belong in this cabinet. I didn't make those rules up. The same thing here. This is the 220 coming to your condensing units, your 25 amp and your 60 amp. These white hots, they're supposed to be wrapped with black tape. And again, if you don't know that's hot, you don't belong in the cabinet. And again, I get that. But they're supposed to be wrapped with black tape. That's supposed to be wrapped with white tape. These are supposed to be covered. All right. The bonding location is not labeled inside of the cabinet. And you can write it like that this time. You know, we know that it's over here on the water heater. We know that. So, but it's supposed to be labeled in here so an electrician doesn't have to go hunting for it. Okay. Now over here, these are your ground wires, these bare copper wires. And it's okay for them to be double lugged like that. Over here, these are your neutral wires. Okay? And they shouldn't be double lugged. We got plenty of lugs up here for these. You're not supposed to double lug these. These carry current. These carry current. And so you're not supposed to have 2 current carrying conductors held in place with a single lug, unless that particular lug, and these aren't, unless that particular lug happened to be designed for that purpose, and they weren't. So up here we have what's known as stackable breakers. There's 2 circuits on 1 breaker, and that's allowed. Here's the illustration. Sometimes home inspectors get excited about that, but we know that that's an allowable application here. We know that we've got AFCIs in the bedrooms, only in the bedrooms. That's the only place it was required when this home was built. But we do have AFCIs in the bedrooms. Okay, now you see this plate behind here? That's not heat. I mean, it's heat. That's not heat. That's the plating in the factory that was inadequate, a substandard plating process when it was in the factory, so there wasn't actually heat that had caused it. An event did not cause that. That's the material itself. And that's not a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It's a thing, you know, and it's not right. Okay, kind of like the rubber booties. Okay, coming along, the cables are not supposed to be touching the cabinet cover. And we're not supposed to have bundling. Now, I hate discounting my work. I've got an illustration that's baked into the inspection that's almost apologetic about, you know, this bundling. But they have these big knockouts because we do not know where L1, L2 is. We don't know where they're coming in. So we have knockouts everywhere, including up here. And then we have all these smaller, see these little smaller knockouts, twist outs, call them what you will. Those are for these cables. You're not supposed to bring more than 2 cables in at a time. And somebody did that. They did it in my house too. My house is not for sale. Okay. It's very common, okay? Now, is the cure to go through the expenses to take this wall out, to loosen this box up, to pull these twist outs out, to bring them all in separate like they're supposed to be? You could do it. I would never dissuade my client from seeking perfection. You could do it. But it's not going to change the selling price of the house in terms of relative safety. You know, it's definitely a safety issue, but I don't know what to tell you. I just don't know if that's the best place to spend your energy. And again, here I am apologizing for my work. Is it right? No, it's not right. We got bundling. All right, and then you're not supposed to have more than 1/8 of an inch gap in the cabinet. All right, you're not supposed to have more than 1/8 of an inch gap. Okay, that compromises the fire blocking between the cabinet. This lid fits on, this cover fits on over here. You got this big gap. This cover is supposed to fit next to this. So you got this 1/8 of an inch gap in here. All right, that compromises the fire blocking. Again, it's kind of like the bundling. Kind of like the bundling. Kind of like the plating. So you got that. And then, and this is a little more important in my book, but the cabinet was screwed in place with drywall screws. Drywall screws are fast, they're tight. I get that. Zip, zip, just throw some drywall screws in there, Philip. We're going to the beer store. Oh, Doug, you're the fastest in the shop. I know. I'm going to get a raise next week. And that's the way they do it. That's the way they do it. Faster and tighter. Screws do not have the same shear strength that nails do. If this structure was to experience a tornado, for example, and this garage got blowed up, well, you already have a bad day. I get that. You know, but if this cabinet had been nailed in place rather than screwed in place, it might, you know, be just a little bit more safe. Might be a little more safe during an event like that. I hope you don't have one. But that's what it's there for.